Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. You have to admire the gall of Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his executive team at Manchester United. Just days after Ratcliffe gave an interview in which he criticised the shocking way United had been run in recent years, accusing those in charge of presiding over a cock-up, he and his football operations team announced a rise in ticket prices for a third successive year at Old Trafford. In simple terms, match-going United fans are paying the price and footing the bill for the financial blunders made by previous regimes placed in charge by reviled majority owners, the Glazers. A week after thousands of United fans embarked on a mass demonstration before the 1-1 draw with Arsenal at Old Trafford, protesting at the proposed ticket price hike and the way their loyalty is being exploited for profit, Ratcliffe and cronies have gone ahead with the increases anyway. The rise of 5% may not be as high as was feared and is in line with inflation, while United have listened to fans and decided to freeze prices for under-16s. But the bottom line is that supporters are still being asked to fork out even more money to watch arguably the worst United team since the one that was relegated to the second tier in the 1973-74 season. Given how lamentably United have performed this season and how Ratcliffe has laid bare the mistakes of the past that have led the club to the stage where he has been forced to take drastic measures like culling 450 staff, it is jarring that fans are being asked to dig even deeper into their pockets. Not only that, fans who have had season tickets for years around the dugouts at Old Trafford are being moved against their will, so those seats can be sold for even more money at premium rates to allow United to make even more money from them, profit above the loyalty of supporters. The big clubs these days do not want season ticket holders or legacy fans, as they are often referred to in the modern game. They want tourists or day trippers, those who are happy to pay inflated prices for tickets, as well as spending hundreds of pounds on merchandise, because the motivation of owners nowadays is maximising revenue and profit, rather than ensuring they look after the very supporters whose enduring loyalty has made these elite clubs what they are today. United are the epitome of that avaricious approach, as outlined by their latest announcement on increased ticket prices and new guidelines for next season. As well as the price hike, United have increased the minimum number of games season ticket holders must attend from 15 to 16 of 19 Premier League games. Will impose a £10 charge on fans selling their tickets back to the club less than 2 weeks before a game, and have raised car parking charges by 15%. All of these measures, necessary in the eyes of the United hierarchy to address the financial mistakes of the past, will serve only to further alienate supporters from those running the club and see further protests from fans who are fed up with having their loyalty exploited for profit. Ruben Amorim hailed special Bruno Fernandes after the Manchester United skipper inspired his side to victory and nudged Leicester closer to relegation. United extended their unbeaten run to 7 games in all competitions, with Fernandes providing 2 assists and scoring the third to move Amorim's side up to the 13th. Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho ended 21-game and 25-game goal droughts, but United boss Amorim reserved special praise for his formidable captain. "Bruno is a special guy," said Amorim. "He's always ready, he can recover well. I always see a Bruno who is dangerous, and a Bruno who can recover in every situation. What surprised me the most is the way he works every day. That was a surprise. In Portugal, we see Bruno with all that frustration, and I was really surprised because he's a very good professional. You can understand that frustration, but it was a surprise for me." Man of the match Fernandes said, "I think you can see some progress, but that has to go on and on. We have important games. I want to score as many goals as I can. It's a big part of my game, and I also need to assist my teammates. I need to get onto the edge of the box and score goals, as it's one of my qualities." The only blot for United was a serious injury to 18-year-old defender Aidan Heaven, who left the pitch on a stretcher just after the restart. Amorim said, "It's hard to know because we have to evaluate during the week. Leicester are still 9 points from safety, but boss Ruud van Nistelrooy said, 'The gap is 9 points. It's big, but we can't and won't give up. We'll keep going and use all the possibilities we have to turn this situation around. Now we'll have a long break and come back from there. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes hit back at Roy Keane after criticism of his performances while wearing the armband this season. Former skipper Keane has been vocal in his criticism of Fernandes during a tough season for player and club. The Irishman used the word imposter when discussing the Portuguese international, who has worn the armband while failing to lift United out of the bottom half. Things have picked up of late under head coach Ruben Amorim, though. Fernandes scored a hat-trick as the Red Devils eliminated Real Sociedad from the Europa League and was at the heart of things once more as Amorim's team beat Leicester on Sunday. After laying on the opener for Rasmus Højlund at the King Power Stadium, United's number 8 also scored the final goal in a 3-0 win. And, after the victory, he gave a pointed response in the light of Keane's February comments. "Obviously, I know you're talking about Roy Keane," Fernandes told Sky Sports when asked about criticism. "I've said it before, I have huge respect for Roy Keane. I think he was one of the best captains the club has had, an amazing player for the club, won basically everything for this club. It's the way he thinks, it's the idea he has about me as a player, as a captain, and I have to respect that. Obviously, I do the things in my own way to try to be the best not captain, but person and teammate, as I can. I do it every day. I try to be an example in everything I do in the training sessions, on the pitch, in everything I do, but not everyone will like that. Not everyone will think in the same way, and I respect every opinion of everyone. And as I said, I have huge respect for Roy Keane, and I accept there is a lot of margin for improvement in my game, in my leadership, in everything I do, even in my own life." Speaking to Sky Sports after the match, Amorim was asked what Fernandes provided on Sunday evening, what we see every week. "But the most important thing is the work he puts in every week," the boss said of his compatriot. Amorim also gave an update on defender Aiden Heaven. The teenager left the field on a stretcher early in the second half, adding to United's growing injury list. "It's hard to know because we have to evaluate during the week," Amorim said. "He already played well against Arsenal and Real Sociedad. Today for me was the most difficult game for him because we expect him to relax a bit, but he was so focused." Mason Greenwood will still play for Jamaica, according to Steve McLaren. The FA chief executive Mark Bullingham confirmed recently that Greenwood, who has a sole senior England cap, has said he intends to switch allegiances to Jamaica and link up in a reunion of Manchester United old boys with McLaren. However, there have been growing questions since over Greenwood's desire to commit to the Reggae Boys, with the Jamaican Football Federation still to receive the required documents it needs to complete the process. Jamaica had been hoping the switch would be concluded in the coming months, so Greenwood can be part of the squad that plays 2 friendlies in the UK before it begins its World Cup qualifying campaign in June. There was also hope that Greenwood would be a key member of the CONCACAF Gold Cup squad. Amid the hold-up, none of those things are any longer certain. Yet McLaren, the ex-England manager and former Manchester United number 2, who has been in charge of Jamaica since last year, remains very confident. "We are in contact all the time, with him, Greenwood and his family," he said. "I am very confident he only wants to play for Jamaica. It is up to him when he moves forward with that. The ball is in his court." Greenwood has starred for Marseille this season, scoring 15 times for the French club after signing a 5-year deal following completion of a permanent Manchester United exit. But he was dropped for the weekend loss to Lens, with OM boss Roberto De Zerbi labelling him inconsistent and saying if someone trains badly, they won't play, no matter what their name is. De Zerbi said last week that he expected more from, announcing "I wanted him here. I said it over and over again," De Zerbi said. "He was the first player I contacted, even before I signed for OM. I had already spoken to his father. No one can have more respect for him than I do. But that doesn't change anything. I expect more from him. He has to do more, because what he is currently showing is not enough. If he wants to achieve his ambition of becoming a champion, he has to be more consistent, sacrifice more and be more determined." Diogo Dalot has told Sir Jim Ratcliffe that Manchester United's players are prepared to sacrifice themselves to make the club great again. At the end of a week when United's outspoken co-owner accused some members of Ruben Amorim's squad of being overpaid and underperforming, Dalot admitted his uncompromising message has resonated strongly inside the Old Trafford dressing room. But the Portuguese defender insists that being ready to suffer for the cause has always been the price that comes with wearing the famous red shirt. "I think the history of this club is about sacrifice and fighting against the world," said Dalot ahead of United's trip to face Leicester. "It's about sacrificing yourself and each other, every moment on the pitch and being together with the fans to create the energy we all feel in Old Trafford. This is the history of the club. If you want to be successful, you have to have that desire to try to do everything on the pitch. Whether you like it or not, the attitude has to be there. It is clear that when we are 14th or 15th in the league, we are not doing what we should. If we want to put Manchester United back on top, we need to do much better. Ultimately, this club will only progress through what we do on the pitch, so we are all responsible for the future and the momentum. We know that we have that responsibility, but we want to take it. The pressure is high, but we are Manchester United players for a reason." Amorim has been unable to win games on a consistent basis after replacing Erik ten Hag with a mandate to bring a new playing philosophy to the club. Dalot believes United are now on an upward trajectory after a 6-game run, where the only defeat has been the penalty shootout loss to Fulham. But he has told the Ineos group that has been put in charge of football operations at the club that having to navigate bumps in the road are a consequence of the changes they are bringing in. Dalot said, "If you are a top footballer, you need to be able to change things quickly. But obviously it does take time because we have been playing in the last few years in a different way. You can see this is a period of change, especially since Ineos have come in. The club wants to go in a direction. They want to rebuild Manchester United and put Manchester United back on top. I hope in the next couple of years we can go there. I think you are now seeing a much better team than a couple of months ago." He added, "When we talk about needing time, we aren't saying that just to buy time. I think it is something that is going to happen. Obviously, it is difficult when you play for a club like this because you must improve by always winning. The pressure is always high to win every game, and when results don't come, it's difficult to show progress. But I think in the last couple of games you have seen something different. There have been different styles of play, but overall we are improving, I think. It's something everyone can see, but results will ultimately show our position."